of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor guard, please post the colors. Honor guard. Okay, my name is Ron Valiant, and I'll be the moderator today, and we'd like to thank all of you for coming today, and welcome everybody, especially the secretary. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Ron. Good to see you in person.
Yes. We're going to start out with Secretary Treasurer Alan Roy. I'd like to welcome everybody, and please be seated up there. Okay, be seated, make yourself welcome. Alan, would you like to start out with a little welcome for everybody?
Well, welcome everyone. Uzuki Nawa, Wabashki Mayangan Indigo, Secretary Treasurer Alan Roy, Miki Kambuya, Daek, Wangin Dave. Well, Dave Minis getting the Dunjaba, Kawa Bobby Garikox, Konigani. Those that don't speak Ojibwe, my name is Michael. I'm also known as Secretary Treasurer Alan Roy of the White Earth Nation, where I'm born and raised. I serve on the Tribal Council. I'm a veteran, and I'm also a major in the Army Reserve. I've deployed to Iraq, and I've been overseas. 4 years ago, the White Earth Nation, working with Mr. Colin Peterson and other tribal leadership here in northern Minnesota, set out on a mission to try to do what we can for our veterans in the community. Fortunately, we have Secretary McDonough here, so thank you for coming out here today, and also to other folks that are here. This is such an important opportunity for us to have a discussion on a town hall event. I know we had the mayor here. I want to thank him for coming as well. And also, I know we also have hereditary chiefs in the audience as well. So thank you all for coming today. I look forward to having a great discussion around how we can better serve our veterans and all across the U.S., but certainly here in northern Minnesota. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Alan. Mr. Mayor, would you like to do a few opening words?
Absolutely. So I'm George Prince, I'm the mayor of the city of Bemidji. And first and foremost, I want to thank all the veterans that are here today and those that aren't with us for your service and your sacrifice to our country. And I also want to thank your families for their service and sacrifice to our country, because we know nothing gets done by one person alone. I also want to thank you, Secretary McDonough, to the first city of the Mississippi, the great city of Bemidji. We are a proud region that owes a great debt to all of our veterans for their service and leadership, not just as they've been serving our country out there, but also here within our community and many terrific and wonderful things that are done by our veterans here in our community. And as you are aware, we're in the middle of the construction of the new Veterans Home that will bring a much-needed resource to our community, so we're grateful and thankful for all the efforts that have been expended to make that happen here. But we know that the needs of our veterans go beyond a specific resource or any specific program. And when I look out and I see the shirt say 22, it really strikes me. I think about 22 veterans every day choosing Tamara. That is so good. So I'm excited about the opportunity to have a conversation around what we can all do together to make things better. Not just in the arena of mental health and PTSD, but in helping our veterans deal with and heal from emotional trauma, physical trauma, and mental trauma. I'm excited that you have come to Bemidji to engage in these conversations. I want to thank the wider nation, those that have been involved in the initial conversations that have led to this day. I'm excited to see such a great turnout for this event, and I anticipate that we will have a very, very good conversation. I also want to take a moment, Mr. Secretary, because I want to thank you for your leadership and your commitment to the well-being of our veterans. And that is not just a thank you as one leader to another, but a personal thank you. My father is a veteran. He has had to overcome many of the VA resources to help him through that battle and to be on the successful side of this. And so as a family, we've gone through that and have experienced a lot of things firsthand. And I personally am very grateful for the resources that are there to help people like me. So thank you. I want to welcome you and all of your staff to Bemidji. And I look forward to having a great town hall and a wonderful conversation. I want to take 1 minute. We recognize that our former Representative Paul Pearson is here. Thank you. And also from our city council, Councilmember Audrey Thayer is here as well.
Thank you, Mayor Prince. Yeah, I was going to recognize Congressman Peterson. You have to recognize him. He's done so much for all of us. Also, from I'd like to recognize regional officers from the tribal council members from Overlake. He also is a veteran. At this time, it's my honor to introduce our Secretary McDonough, the Honorable Secretary McDonough, excuse me, Veterans Affairs. It's so nice to have you here. Like I said, it's nice to see you in person. We've talked over the Zoom and before, but yeah, nice to have you here. So, Mr. Secretary.
Well, Ron, thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here. Alan, thank you very much. Mayor, I'm really grateful for the hospitality that we felt here. I'm honored to greet you here in my home state. I'm honored to greet you on tribal land. It's really good to be home. The purpose of the get together today is to hear from you. I've been hearing since I was nominated by President Biden to serve in this job about the amazing things that are happening in this community. I've talked a couple times with Ron. I think I asked him if I could come out and visit. He said, yeah, but I don't believe that. And so here I am. As importantly, we rolled out the big guns here from VA so that our team can help answer the questions new guys are not in a good position to handle. So I'm really thrilled that Dr. Weintraub, who is our medical center director in Fargo, but as a result oversees all the CBOCs here, including the CBOC in Bemidji. Rob McDivitt, who oversees this region, this Vision 23, so of Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Iowa, parts of Nebraska. I'm thrilled to be joining the regional office in Fargo. He is here to make sure that, one, I don't screw up, but two, those of you who have questions on claims, let's get those resolved before we leave it this morning. So we can take that information, make sure that we get working on it. And then I'm really thrilled to be joined by our new director of the Office of Mental Health and Suicide Prevention, Dr. Tamara Campbell. She and I have been traveling together, started in Sioux Falls a couple of days ago. And great to be with her to talk about the innovative things that we are doing at VA mental health access. Chairman Peterson, thrilled to see you. Been a tireless effort for our veterans. Very grateful for that. corporate advocate for our tribes and entirely other different. Again, I just say personally, I said I wanted to come here because I think there's something special going on. To see, we were driving up and I said to the security team, I said, "But it turned out legal here." So thanks everybody for coming out, but it speaks to the commitment from this community, from this tribe, these tribes, from this state, to what we just prayed at Thanksgiving. I know as we were being led in that prayer, we're awesome. Precisely. Generations of commitment to this country that each of you are. And so I'm eager to hear from you. I'm eager to be in a position to respond to you. Mostly, I'm eager to be in a position to continue to support and investigate. My guess is we're not doing everything perfectly. You might hear more about that over the course of the time. And your candor, your frankness in that is vital to a well-functioning media. Because at the end of the day, it's you who determine our success. Nobody else. And I'm eager to get to the bottom of the exciting things that are happening. Maybe the most exciting thing I heard is represented on this shield. Yes. Here, the way the members of that group of the community across multiple generations and eras of Vietnam vets who started, the Iraq and Afghan vets who have found sustenance. That community, that support, that commitment to one another is precisely what we as a country need. So I'm really eager to get to know. Thanks again for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. I don't know, you guys may not know Ron is a kind of pretty blunt guy. So, we know. Yeah, I think anybody who knows me knows that. So I look forward to the conversation, especially maybe even when it gets blunt and frank again, because that's what I need from you. Okay, it's good to be home. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. At this time, I'd like to introduce Grant Bauer.
There he is.
Come on, you're hiding back there. Oh, you'll introduce yourself. Tell what you did. Can everybody hear me okay?
Got you loud and clear. No.
How about now?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank you. Well, I'm here to update you on some of our progress right now from the attendance of our leaders. I'm very proud of that. So nice to see all of you here today. And welcome all the veterans, Secretary McDonough, tribal leaders, everybody who's gathered in support of this effort to improve veteran care in our region. It's really amazing to see. For those of you who do not know me, I've recently retired, from our local VA clinic, but served the last 11 years as a mental health therapist for the veterans in this region. The veterans I've seen throughout this region have sometimes had to overcome barriers to some of their care. Among those are travel distance or access to providers, and they have done some very dynamic things to overcome that, but mostly they've advocated for themselves. For that, I really appreciate all the veterans here and throughout the country that do that. Many times that distance and those barriers can have other obstacles, such as mental health issues. If you don't have the support or the strength, sometimes those things are amplified. And they can have very dire outcomes. And sometimes when veterans struggle to find that strength and support to attend a clinic visit or call for simple information, know your face, a consistent building or clinic to access at times can be a lifeline, along with all the other things that the VA offers, which is considerable. To this point, there's been some constructive steps forward regarding the VA care to veterans to become more accessible and effective for the reservations in our region. Among these initial topics have been opening access to clinicians, both face-to-face, and improving options for telemedicine. Best use of existing space for clinicians and veterans where they reside or close to where they reside. Some of these things have been among the discussions we've had. And this today is an ongoing springboard for that. Although there is significant interest and engagement and support for this effort, sometimes it helps to gather and hear just what the healthcare is like for our veterans. Today we're going to hear from some of our veterans who have not only had their care here locally in Bemidji, but who have shared their experiences and how they grew more knowledgeable benefits and their healthcare choices, improved their access, and were able to, in turn, assist other veterans and support other veterans along the way. I would like to encourage everyone here today to raise questions and pose serious issues that will assist those who will be continuing this work towards making this effort a reality in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you, Grant. At this time, we're going to hear from a panel. We're going to start out with John Pierce. They're going to talk about some of the things that are working for the veterans here in this area because of the program from Grant Bauer here and different things that they do together. John?
Hi, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
My name is John. I'm a former Marine, and Grand Bauer, who just spoke, saved my life and saved all of our veterans' lives. I came to the group around 2010. I had just retired from work, and the demons were fully active on my shoulders, pulling me from one side to the other. I was told that there was a counselor in town here at the VA center, and my wife insisted that I go and see him, and it turned out to be the turning point in my life. After several meetings with Grant, he suggested that I join the support group. I was not too thrilled about that, but I thought I'd give it a try. And that turned out to be the best thing in my life. A few weeks into the support group, another veteran showed up on a motorcycle. His name was Paul Butler, known as Butler, and he was about to change our lives forever. Riding with Butler, I ran into a guy named Burnout. Burnout ran was what the club called the In-Country Vietnam Veterans Club. And in time I joined and half the guys in the club joined. After being in a group for a while, I realized I wanted to get together more often than just 4:30 on Wednesday, which we had done. So we started breakfast and coffee Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Guys in the PTSD group and the Veterans Motorcycle Club participated. We also hold dinners with family members once a month at various restaurants. We have events that keep us all busy. We raise money and donate money to help veterans in the area. Last year, our clubs raised almost $30,000 for local veterans. We do all kinds of things to raise money and receive donations from anybody who wants to support veterans. We take money from Washington, D.C. We stay active, which is the key to our stability. If we could have a local vet center, it'd be the best thing that could happen for the area. With the main center in Bemidji and satellites in White Earth, Red Lake, and Leech Lake reservations. To give the Iraqi Afghan boys a place to go and meet with us, we can help them. They're going through what we went through, a war that nobody cares about, and nobody remembers. They are seemingly forgotten like we were, but we can help them. The support group of motorcycle groups lean on each other. We help each other in times of despair. When somebody's sick, we're there to help. Recently somebody's basement flooded, and right away there were veterans there to help. We help veterans with financial crisis. We take vets to the hospital. We have the clubs, we go visit veterans in nursing homes. We visit the homebound, we keep in touch. A good example of how we help each other is what's happened to my wife and I last year when we were riding up in the peninsula. My bike was fine, but my shoulder gave out. I was insisted on riding this back. My wife said to me, honey, I'm not getting on the back of that bike. She said, all you have to do is make one phone call. So I did. I made that one phone call that evening and without any questions. Roto and Prince were on their way to do a 700 miles round trip rescue mission. I tried to give them something in return. They did not take anything, gas money or nothing. 4:30 every Wednesday. We do it here at the East Club, but we are going to keep on doing this. And now,
My name is Mike. In Vietnam, 66, 67. Welcome home. Welcome home. I'm going to do a brief history of our group. It was originally called the Greater Bemidji Area Combat PTSD Support Group. Our group was started in 2008 by 3 veterans, 2 of which had the idea. We met on the BSU college campus. As the group grew, more space was needed. The group came to the VA in 2009 for help with guidance and direction. Then Counselor Tammy sought permission to use the VA facility after hours for our meeting and would be the facilitator. 3 months later, it was approved and we've been there ever since. Those of us that came from farther away got mileage at this time. When Grant came, he acted as facilitator and helped us establish rules for the group. No interrupting, swearing, religion, politics, or war stories. Unless it pertains to what is going on in the field right now, i.e. triggers and nightmare. It was a good fit and self-imposed by the group. Also, potential members took these screens to Grant, as early on, we had numerous stolen dollar people come to the group. We had to remove. As the group grew to around 30 veterans, group discussions and participation increased. Aurora, as president in that group, is hard to explain. Some of us were seeing Grant weekly, then bi-weekly, then once a month, then bi-monthly or as needed. This reduced the burden on the VA and Grant and made for a very close group, relying more and more on each other. In my opinion, this closeness is one key to suicide prevention. About 2014, we dropped combat from our title and we started doing the Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day event. So as to include all veterans, not just combat veterans. Our events outside our group are all voted on by the group for group approval. Cooperation and participation is almost 100%. Also, all our events are always open to veterans, family, and friends. The veterans in our group are probably some of the most knowledgeable there are about what is offered and available to the VA because of our conversations stemming from our group process. Of the 30 members in our group, I never knew one member before coming to the group. And we constantly try to come up with ways to reach modern era veterans. And the one area that there is interest right now are our UTV off-road rally events. There seems to be a lot of interest by them in UTV off-roading. We plan to do more. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Larry Denis, and I serve in the U.S. Army. Yes, my name is Larry Denis, rural clerk. I serve in the U.S. Army in Vietnam, of the 4th Infantry in the Central Highlands between Pleiku, Nong Kay, 70 to 71. Welcome home. I will skip the individual welcomes that they have already been mentioned. For the fact that I welcome each and every one of you here today, and I thank you all for being here. It is my honor to speak on behalf of my fellow veterans, spouses, others, and everyone else involved with our veterans. To address Mr. Secretary and everyone in attendance, please approve. The success of our support group has been in large part due to our counselor grant power and all the veterans within this group. The bond that forms within this group is something a veteran in need is desperate for. Camaraderie among us includes trust, friendship, and sharing of conversations is what creates this bond. The trust leads to shared verbal exchange and awareness of benefits through the VA, while also enjoying the experience of conversation with fellow veterans. Success has come in many different ways. In 2014, we started the first annual Vietnam Veterans Day recognition they get together. This has been held every year since with increased attendance. This has been, and of course, spouses and others are always welcome. I'm also proud to say that the White Earth Honor Guard has presented the colors annually for us at these events. We thank them for honoring our flags. In 2012, this group did a first annual fishing trip at Lake of Woods with a potluck outing. 2 more fishing trips on guided launches and ice fishing trips have also been done. In 2019, the first annual 22-theme suicide walk was held with good participation from veterans, family, and friends. This group started a breakfast together 3 times a week. They are held twice in Bemidji and once in Bagley each week. These breakfast gatherings and Wednesday group meetings are the high points of the week for many veterans in attendance, and we will continue these get-togethers. During COVID-19, we held weekly conference calls with our veterans group members. We use this as a way for all of us to stay in touch and also share our concerns with each other. This provided our brothers with a way to help one another through much needed conversation, along with sharing of information and etc. We had 100% of the group attend these different events. By that I mean everyone attended at least one of these events. Financial support for these outings has come from VSOs, VFWs, Legion Posts, DABs, in-country motorcycle clubs, private individuals, and local banks. No financial support has been provided by the VA for these outings. Veterans Administration support was provided by the Bemidji VA Clinic in hosting our weekly group meetings, along with VA mileage reimbursement for eligible veterans in attendance at these group meetings. We thank the VA for this support, and we hope that will continue. Our group of veterans are some of the best informed about what the VA has to offer in regards to medical care, benefits, and education. This is due to the veterans sharing information with one another and with the group as a whole. This information exchange is done at regular meetings, special events, breakfast, and at dinner time sharing with a regular meeting. Once again, spouses are welcome and join us for the dinners, and a regular group of support ladies do exactly that. I might also note that geographically, Bemidji is in an excellent position to make this challenge a success for this type of veterans care. One of the things shared is medical issues and how one gets through major illnesses faced by themselves and their families. Illnesses such as mental, PTSD, Agent Orange, heart disease, diabetes, prostate and lung cancer, along with many other medical issues. I must thank the Bemidji VA Clinic doctors, nurses, and staff, along with the Fargo VA Clinic hospital doctors, nurses, and staff for all their concern, compassion, and care given to all veterans. A job well done, and all of us veterans do appreciate everything that he has done for us. A most heartfelt thank you. Thank you. In closing, I'd like to thank all of you for your time and attention. God bless America.
Mr. Secretary, do you have any questions for our panel before we move on to open mic?
No, I guess the one question I'd love is, one observation was that it turns out that grandson is a friend of mine, nephew. And I'm also, I just want to warn grandson, me and the local later, I'm going to try to talk him out of retirement. It looked like you guys are reading prepared notes in some cases. If it's not too much to ask, if you could send that, I'd love to publish that a collection of those notes. I'm taking notes myself, but I think a lot of what you had to say there is applicable in communities across the country. So I'd like to figure out a way for us to publish those testimonies so that others can learn from your experience.
Mr. Secretary, could I say, we're live streaming this. Is there a way for you to forward some of this to his staff so they can look at some of the notes and stuff?
Yeah.
And take notes from it?
Good, that's what we'll do. Okay, great. And it looks like John's got his notes in the back there, so I'll grab those.
My wife made an extra copy.
Thank goodness for wives.
Amen to that. Yeah.
At this point, we're gonna do an open mic, and we're gonna let people come up with questions and comments. But asking people to like 2 minutes, we'd like to get as many people as possible to get up here and address the secretary. This is a real honor to do this. You don't get a chance to do very often. Robert, I think you asked me, you go first up here. And I didn't Kathy, I got you next. And after that, we'll be. Thank you guys so much.
Well, it's an honor, Secretary McDonough. My name is Robert Grant.
Thanks for the prayer, Robert.
Thank you very much. It was an honor. I'm 100% disabled veteran. And I really appreciate the Fargo VA because they're there for everything that we need and what I need. I appreciate that. And I want to talk a little bit more on how I feel as a Native American veteran. You know, I've been with the Honor Guard since 1996. I've been very busy over the course of all of those years, and many of our veterans passed away and take care of many events in honor. Since that time, there's a lot of things I want to understand about PTSD. And I don't know if you're aware of certain issues that Native Americans face. We face a lot of things that stems back a couple hundred years with the military. And with the military in control, that created the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, they established these boarding schools. And with boarding schools, they created an atrocity for our elders. My mother was in a boarding school. The atrocities that she had gone through. Some of the people never returned from the boarding schools. And a lot of those people had to cover their feelings with alcoholism. We don't understand what that all means because alcoholism and a lot of stuff covering up creates a lot of things. Okay, as a Native American veteran, we face those kinds of issues here all the time because those atrocities were passed on to us. This is a military issue also. And then the PTSD. And then we start thinking about why is it so difficult for Native Americans? And that's what I want to address to you. And if you ever wanted, through Ron or whatever, speak to me more about this, I know I only got a couple minutes. But this is real. There's a double whammy with Native American veterans. And this is them something. And God bless you for being here. And again, God bless the USA.
Morning. My name is Kathy Roy. My husband Michael Roy has been involved in the PTSD support group from the very beginning. I speak as a wife of a veteran who has benefited greatly. 2 years after the men's group had been established, and the women had seen them bond and form a tribe, some of us decided that we wanted a tribe too. So we formed our own support group, called ourselves the Support Hosts, and started meeting on a weekly basis. There are about 12 of us that meet. We are the wives and partners of someone in the PTSD support group. A couple weeks ago, at one of our meetings, we were discussing how we had been personally affected by our partners being involved in the PTSD support group. And 2 members of the group immediately said, that's just powerful. And everybody there said that it had a positive effect on their partners. When one person in a family gets well, it has a positive effect on the entire family. And when an entire family gets well, it has an impact on the entire community because families are the building blocks of the community. There's a ripple effect. And I believe that the PTSD support group has had a positive effect on this community as well as the surrounding areas because many of us hail from other towns in northern Minnesota. The healing these men have experienced started with counseling, but the support group is an extension of that and facilitates them getting involved in their own communities. I know that I speak on behalf of the other wives and partners when I say that the PTSD support group has been life-changing. It would be a good thing to happen here if it happens in other communities.
Good morning. Welcome, and everybody, welcome home. I'm a Legion Commander, VFW Commander in Walker, Minnesota. 40 years retired, Army Reserves, 2 deployments. My last 10 years, and you probably know about the Resilience Program, MRT, fantastic thing. It's a preventative measure to get our soldiers ready to go to austere environments and possibly have issues. I didn't bring notes, but I did bring a piece of paper. You can have it. There's a lot of modalities. Tamara, is that your name? A lot of new modalities coming out to help with PTSD. Pardon me if I turn this way. This is really the audience.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. Now, I know there's a lot of Marines in here. I could have a show of hands, and I could ask them, anybody have issues? And they'd probably keep their hands up because they're tough. Okay? And they're always in front of us, the Army. And we pick up all the armament as they drive on. But the VA, we offer CBT, we offer a lot of medication. There's a lot, the modality I have talking about here is EMDR. You're familiar with it? Doctor, which one is it? EMD, okay, EMDR. It's showing some really good success, but it has a VA grabbed onto it and engulfed it as a modality for cure or whatever we want to call it, PTSD, symptoms that we have. I mean, we're kind of a unique group because in northern Minnesota, we're neighbors helping neighbors and we're veterans helping veterans. And we're not going to stop no matter what happens up here in this panel. It's going to happen. That's what we do. Who said that? It's our job, right? It's our duty. And so I am, whatever modality, EMDR is a good start. There's so many more. They're taking PTSD, and I've seen it. In one session, somebody going from boom, hitting the ground and going, what's going on? Sweating and the whole works. And in one session, they're like 60%, 70% better. They still got 30% that got some work. Right now, in this letter, they talk about there's a Sergeant Major Corbel, retired Sergeant Major out of Minneapolis. And they do have a place up here in Bemidji. It's one of the offsets, and one in Duluth as well. We need more. We need more. And and if I said, I'm an Army guy, and I'm not going to raise my hand and volunteer this in the resilience program, it's the hardest thing to look for help. And I'm looking over here. If you guys need help, look to your left and right. They're here. Okay? So this is what I offer to you guys. Let's get some better modalities of treatment. We're on.
Oh, you're on.
Well, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Secretary.
Appreciate it.
And my 2 minutes is probably up. I could hold this microphone and tell you more and more, but thank you all for what you've done. Hoorah.
Bonjour, my name is John Dudley, I'm a member of the Lake Nation, East Star Warrior Society. And have our pleasure to be invited here today. And just a little history there, we conduct ceremonies in all 4 districts of the Lake Nation. And we have a total of maybe 15 at the moment. We do ceremony when we have all veterans on the Red Lake Nation. And prior to COVID-19, we got together a couple of years. We went out to Arizona, pay our respect to Ira Hayes. And I hope that comes back into play pretty soon because I used to like driving out there, participated in that ceremony. And just a little I got a little patch here, and this little Red Lake Nation flag presented to you. On behalf of the 3-Star Warrior Society, I'd like to thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Secretary. Senator Roy. My name is George Gogley, Jr. I'm the State Supreme Court veteran on discharge. I'm also a former chairman of the state reservation. I currently work with Chippewa Tribe as a finance corporation director. I used to work past the service, a lot of service work for many years. Recovery alcoholic. Oh, sir. And these are some of the things that I've been working with people and veterans for quite some time. And I want to make sure that you have doctors here, medical professional people. I want to mention the importance of traditional healing. And I would really respectfully ask that the VA look at that as one of the modalities for our people, because it has done a lot for me as an individual to receive that type of healing. I probably got more from that and more healing from that than Western medicine or modern medicine. Again, I think former Secretary Treasurer Durant talked about the historical stuff. I don't want to delve too deep into that because I could stand up here for hours and talk. But I do want to say how going back to our culture, going back to our medicines, going back to our ceremonies has been a great healing for many veterans that have experienced PTSD, trauma in different forms. I'm not a war veteran. I happen to be in between the eras of Iraq and Vietnam. But I've watched many of my uncles before me. I've seen relatives that came after me that came back from Iraq and how they suffered from many different ailments. I heard one gentleman talk about the Agent Orange issue. I've got uncles that started having issues for many years, and I've seen them slowly pass from ailments caused by their service. Some of them didn't get the opportunity to receive proper medical care. But I think it's important that you, Mr. Secretary, you are here today. That I think is really important because I think in your case, you may not know it, you are honoring the treaty, you are honoring the responsibility by the United States government to our relatives, to my relatives who are sitting here in this room today, that they would be given healthcare. Our veterans have served honorably, ways that we can talk about, historic, highest per capita of service of any race. You know, those are important things to us to talk about. Those are things that we pass down to our younger people. You know, we don't have a lot of veterans anymore. Our veterans are becoming few and few. Why? Probably many different reasons. A lot of it has to do with that historical issue. So, again, I thank you, Mr. Secretary, the leadership of White Earth, the leadership of Red Lake, the leadership of Beach Lake, those who are here today. I appreciate you listening. All of these veterans, all of us. Again, welcome home. Rich.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm honored to be here, Secretary.
The honor's mine. Thank you.
On behalf of the White Earth Honor Guard, we are all honored to be here to watch, listen, hear what you say. We appreciate it. And I am here to talk about PTSD, shell shock back in the day. I served U.S. Air Force 70-74, and so many came home but didn't. I also put in 30 years as a counselor, and many of them were Vietnam vets, Korean vets that never had kind of welcome home and or support that they needed, should have had. I worked with many of them. There was many a night, days that I had to spend in person, on the phone, whatever. I drove across 3 states to sit with a veteran and talk about and talk them down and talk her down from having an episode. I witnessed, watched, and tried to protect them from themselves as they ran, hiding, running, fighting. Then 16 that wasn't there, and then 14 that had 1. We did all those things. I was talking to Mr. Robert morning on the way up and told him about these things that were not traditional. But we had to make them traditional for our own safety. And I believe that this applies to all veterans coming home and trying to live a life of normalcy. I remember when I was in my full Class A dress blue uniform, walking on a highway, trying to get from my home to the VA in Minneapolis. People were slowing down, opening doors, trying to knock me off the highway. Walking through the airports, and we had that all kinds of different names. The thing that I'm trying to get at is having more support for counseling. We have them at the VA, thankfully. We have to look at Chicago. I go there once a month. What I did until COVID, now it's out of home. But it's difficult because the counselor that I have, they're a surgeon. But he was all in the service because we have a shortage. The shortage I'm talking about also is having veterans that are able to help other veterans. Going into different places and helping them do these things. I look for planning to do that. And I guess my time is up. I have a whole bunch more to say, but thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, group. One question for you, sir.
Yes, I am.
So am I. That's why this was intended for you in the rule of the world.
Yeah.
But I'm one of the veterans that fell through the crack. I would like somebody of your staff to talk to me before you leave.
Yep.
Probably take 3 minutes of their time.
Yep.
And I don't want to put any rain on this sunshine. Thank you.
Okay.
Morning, sir. Thank
Morning.
you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
My name is Frank Reese. I'm the Tribal Veteran Service Officer for East Lake Reservation. And I have some questions here. One of the toughest questions things I have to do is wait when it's a holiday claim and the VA adjudicate the case.
Yes.
And I've had cases with the regional office in St. Paul.
Yes.
And I tried to call, I called Washington. Who can I talk to in St. Paul? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Who can I talk to? Claim is extended out.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing is, I'd like to thank the VA for helping these veterans, tribal flash. Give me $4.
Yeah. Yeah.
In case when.
Yeah. Okay.
And, also with the things.
Yeah. Good. Frank, will you make sure you talk with Sean before we adjourn today? Okay. Good.
Mr. Secretary, we're running a little long on the mic. Do you mind if we have a couple more yet?
No, let's go. We got a
There's
couple
so many
more.
people that want to talk to you and they
Yeah.
have a chance, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you for having me and welcome home.
I don't have a whole lot to say, but one of the things that we need, as far as our PTSD group, is a solid place to meet. When Grant was here, he was gracious enough to stay. Over time, we could have our friends on.
Yeah.
We don't know what's around tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right now, the Eagles is gracious enough to let us be here, but we don't have mileage or anything for coming here.
Yeah.
And the people in our group come from a long ways.
Yeah.
I'll take this back. If I take my miles that I do to serve myself, I come 30 miles on Mondays, 30 miles on Wednesdays, 30 miles on Friday, 30 miles each way. I know people that come 50 miles. We cover a great big area in our group. And that is really a big thing for our group. We lose people. There's people in our groups that don't have the resources, especially with gasoline prices and everything. We have a
$4 a
problem.
gallon. I agree.
And that's something we need.
Yep.
We got people out there that.
Got it. Got it. Thank you. I'll take that for action.
Morning, Mr. Secretary.
Morning.
My name is Jim Loud. I'm one of 7 hereditary chiefs for the Red Lake Nation. It's a great honor to be here today. And I want to thank Ron for inviting the 3-Star Warrior Society to carry in the colors for you today.
Thank you for that.
Just thank you for coming to Bemidji to meet with all the veterans. And thank all the veterans for all their service. I thank the drummers, and whistleblowers. Great honor today. Thank you.
Thank you. The honor is mine. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Mr. Secretary, you're stuck with me again, being blunt. I thought I'd like to do that a little bit. Most of you know, my name is Ron Valiant. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I served in the Marine Corps. We've heard a lot of suggestions, comments at this time from a lot of people on that. And I'd like to propose a pilot program. And I don't know much about the VA budgets, how they work, how your hiring process happens and that. But what I'd like to propose is another mental health worker here in the Bemidji area. And this would not just be for the Bemidji area. One day a week they would go to Red Lake, one day a week at the Beach Lake, one day in the Wider. They would serve all these areas. They would help set up the PTSD groups in all these areas. 2 days a week they would be here in Bemidji. Our Grant Bowers left, is leaving now, is retired, and as we talked to them many times, it was too much for one person. Everything that was going on here. We tried to run the PTSD groups at night. We had a lot of veterans meetings in the evening for one thing or another. With our Veterans Day dinners and stuff, we asked them to attend to that. And I know it was really hard on him and his family like that. So that's why I'm proposing another person coming in to pick up some of this stuff and that. It's just, so well, that's pretty much what I have there. And it's just, it would cover a lot of it, not just be for the reservation, but be for the whole surrounding area. There's a lot of veterans in that area, so I don't like to distinguish between tribal veterans. They're all veterans, they're all our brothers and sisters, so we need to treat them all. Awesome. So that's my proposal. I hope I wasn't too blunt at this time.
Never. Well, Ron, listen, you're never too blunt.
Thank you.
We don't know each other long, but we know each other well now. And so I appreciate your candor and I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate it, the honor of being with you today and the respect that you showed not only your spouses and your fellow veterans and the work that you do together, but the great respect that you've shown us. We've got pages of notes here, ideas. Ron, I'll take your idea for a pilot. Let's see what we can do on that. But I hope that this is the continuation of the relationship of me with all of you, rather than the one check-in. Let's make sure that we stay in close touch. As I said, there's something special, right? In this group, to hear both from Mike and his wife about the profound impact that you're having. On one another, on the community, but in fact, I think on the country, is fundamentally a national good. And you continue to do us great service as you look out for one another. So, it's as special as it seemed to me when we met over Zoom. And to be able to see this up close is really cool. So I look forward to being in touch. Okay.
Thank you, Secretary.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. Thank you.
At this time, I want to briefly introduce Dr. Weintraub. If you'd like to say a few words, or you just, I didn't see you in the crowd earlier.
Thank you, boy. Following the secretary and everything is quite a challenge. I want to thank you all for inviting me and Mr. Campbell up here to hear, to learn, and to understand what the needs are. I look forward to being a good partner with you and trying to help you to improve access for the services for all veterans, but particularly for the American veterans. I do look forward to working with you.
Is there anything else you'd like to say, Mr. Secretary?
Doug, the only additional thing I'd say is thank you. You've done it's been a great honor for you to give this much time to my visit, and to extend such courtesy and respect, and I thank you very, very much. I'm moved by what we've done today, so thank you very much.
Well, it's an honor having you, sir. Thank you for coming. So at this time, we're going to do a couple little presentations. what, these are little tips. The sample, you know, as I'm sure the secretary's seeing, everybody needs 22 shirts. So we want to present him with a 22 shirt. We've heard that he's a runner. So we get him a couple in there. We want one for his office. You go running in the morning, Mr. Secretary. We're at church proudly and just remember that 22, you know, Veterans Day, commit suicide.
When you get it to zero.
And that's the thing I was gonna say. We want to redesign that. The club helped design that shirt. We want to go back and redesign it with a much lower number and hopefully someday to get that down to zero.
Count on that. Count on that. Thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Is that all right? Everybody, come to your colors, please.
No.
Well, they're getting ready. I just want to thank everybody for coming. And I'll conclude our event for today. I'd like to ask the creator to watch over all of you and have a safe travel, travel home. And kick a lot of them in. And a walk. We'll meet again. Thank you very much.
All right, that's good. Good. Great side. Colors.